All right then, welcome. Let's get cracking on a topic that often leaves even the best project teams in a bit of a pickle: agile story points. We're going to ditch the stopwatch for good and figure out a much better way to size up your work. Oh, come on, you know you have. We've all been there, right? You lay out this beautiful project plan, absolutely everything is timed to perfection, but just a few weeks in, it's all gone a bit wobbly. Timelines are slipping, stress levels are through the roof, and the whole thing just feels, well, soggy. But you know what? Fear not. We have the perfect recipe to fix it. So, picture the scene. It's the annual Great Village Bake Off. The tent is up, the ovens are all preheating, and our team is busy planning their magnificent creations. But their first plan is based on one seemingly simple question: how long will it take? And that, my friends, is exactly where the chaos begins. And here, right here, is the heart of the problem. You've got Brenda. She's a seasoned pro. She can whip up a batch of perfect scones in 20 minutes flat. Easy. Then you've got Brian. Brian's a bit more, let's say, methodical, and he takes a full hour for the exact same recipe. Now, if you try to plan your day based on scone hours, you're doomed from the start. It's completely unreliable because everyone, and I mean everyone, works at a different pace. But what if there was another way? A secret ingredient, if you will, that could transform our planning from a frantic, flour-covered mess into a perfectly risen soufflé. It is time to stop talking about minutes and hours and start talking about something far more useful. Let's call them bake points, yeah? Instead of asking how long a bake takes, we are going to ask how trippy it is. This one little number rolls up everything that matters: the complexity of the recipe, the sheer effort of all that kneading and mixing, and of course, the risk of a catastrophic collapse right before judging. And that is the essence of a story point. So, we throw away the clocks, we chuck them out the tent. The only question that really matters now is this one. It's not about absolute time, it's about relative size. How does making this tricky Battenberg cake compare to making those simple little scones? Honestly, this shift in thinking is the whole game. So our baking team huddles up, ready to put this brilliant new idea into practice. They're not timing anything anymore. They're sizing everything up, comparing the simplest biscuits to the most elaborate, over-the-top showstoppers. Right, first things first, you need a benchmark. You need something that everyone in the team understands inside and out. For our team, it's a simple tray of scones. They all have a chat about it and agree, this is our baseline. It's not a 1 because, well, something could always be easier, right? So let's call it a 2. This is our reference story. And here's where the magic happens. The team looks at a Battenberg cake. Okay, compared to the scones, it's definitely trickier, more complex, more steps involved. Is it twice as hard? Maybe a bit more than that. They all agree on a 5. Then, the dreaded 3-tiered wedding cake. Blimey, the complexity, the risk, the sheer number of unknowns, that's a 13 all day long. See? We're sizing, not timing. Now, you'll probably notice the numbers aren't exactly linear. We're using the famous Fibonacci sequence. But why the massive gaps, like between an 8 and a 13? Well, it's because the team instinctively knows that the difference between a simple bake and a slightly more complex one is much easier to judge than the difference between two hugely complicated bakes. The scale reflects that growing uncertainty. It's built right in. Okay, deep breath. The first baking weekend is over. Flour is absolutely everywhere, but some magnificent cakes have been produced. And now, those bake points we assigned earlier, they're about to become incredibly powerful for predicting the future. So, at the end of the weekend, the team adds up the points for all the bakes they managed to fully complete. The Battenberg, the scones, a lovely Victoria sponge, and it all adds up to 21 bake points. Now this number, this isn't a guess or an estimate, it's a historical fact. It's what they actually achieved. And this gives us our baking velocity. It's simply the amount of work, measured in points, that our team can get through in one cycle, or one baking weekend. And the crucial thing here is that you don't guess this number upfront. No, it emerges from real, actual experience. It's discovered, not declared. Now have a look at this. After a few baking weekends, a beautiful pattern starts to emerge. They did 21 points, then 20, then 22. The team can now say with real, actual confidence, we can reliably complete about 21 points of baking each weekend. And just like that, planning the next bake-off becomes, well, a piece of cake. They know exactly how much they can take on without having a meltdown.
Okay, let's step out of the baking tent for a moment and pop our project manager hats back on. What are the key lessons we can take from Brenda, Brian, and their award-winning cakes and apply back in the office?
You see, it's a direct translation. Our fun little baking analogy maps perfectly onto the world of agile project management. Those bake points are your story points. The frantic but productive baking weekend is your sprint, and that predictable baking velocity is your all-important team velocity. Simple as that. So let's nail this down. If you remember nothing else, please remember this. Points are for relative size, not time. Say it with me, size, not time. They are a blend of complexity, risk, and effort. And crucially, the entire team estimates together. This is not a job for a manager. And finally, Brenda's team's points are completely meaningless to Brian's team. They are unique to the team that creates them.
And please, here are the traps to avoid, the absolute soggy bottoms of project management. Never, ever, ever say 1 point equals 4 hours. That completely misses the point. Don't let a manager who isn't actually doing the work assign the points for the team. And don't panic if your velocity is all over the place for the first few sprints. That's totally normal. It takes a little time to find your rhythm.
At the end of the day, story points are just an incredibly powerful tool for bringing predictability to the inherent chaos of complex projects. They focus the conversation on the work itself, not the ticking clock. So the final question I have for you is this: what project will you stop timing and start sizing? Thanks so much for joining me.